Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gaming and welcome to part 24 of our MotoGP 19 career mode, and finally we can say those first two words of the game title in the series that we're racing in. We have finally, after 3 long and hard seasons, managed to start our engine. Just pretend we're in that picture at the top where we haven't actually got, I suppose, to the Qatar race. So that picture's going to be, it's not the right picture at the end of the day. We are on the Real Aventura bike, which you might question because we actually signed for Honda at the end of the last video, but I'll explain that in just a minute. But before, we did have a winter test coming up to this weekend where we decided the frame and the engine for the season, so let's see how we got on in that test. So, we're here in Sepang for the winter test coming up to the MotoGP season. Now, we've got 3 packs we can use for this season. I'll just read out what we've got here. So we're in Sepang, everything's ready for the classic MotoGP winter tests, and Ducati have brought some exciting innovations for the upcoming seasons. So the riders, including us, Tito Rabat, Carol Abraham on the Real Aventura bike, have got 3 packs made up of various engine and frame combinations. So we've either got an engine with slow fuel delivery, but as you can see, they go across the they go across the spectrum of slow fuel delivery and then absolute performance. So we've got 2 hours to test them out to decide which combination suits your riding style best, and the choice that we make today is very important because we'll use that frame and engine for the whole season. So don't base our choice just on the results on the quick lap, just keep race pace and tyre wear in mind. So I'll probably do maybe I'll just do a few laps on each pack and we'll see what difference it makes, and we'll equally see what the times are for each. So let's see how we get on. So we're back into the pits. We've done our 3 runs with the different 3 bikes, and interesting results really. I'll let you know what's happened, but so we've got our 3 development packs, and it is that 3rd one I'm going to go for. Now, as you can see visibly, the bikes get quicker as we go, which isn't really much of a surprise. However, what I would say is that the 3rd bike is just, I mean, as you can see, you know, it's absolute performance. That 3rd pack is definitely the one we want because it just is. It's got the punch on the brakes, it's got that acceleration, but it doesn't go mad. That 2nd one had no brakes, but it had the punch on the accelerator, but almost too much. We were wheeling too much. That one, the 1st one, it had got the brakes, but it hadn't really got the acceleration, so that 3rd pack is definitely going to be the one we go for the season. So an interesting test there, that definitely was. We've gone, of course, with the 3rd frame, and the only reason we signed for Real Aventura in the end is because we obviously didn't save the game after we last went into it. I've been off the game since, and when I loaded up the career mode, it gave us the option of the teams, and unfortunately, it seems we got a different offer this time from the Real Aventura team, which is a little bit of a shame. I think that Honda ride would have been very good. We're very impressive. The Honda, the 2018 Honda, along with Takaki Nakagami. But the gods have said differently, and now we are on the Real Aventura bike, which is, in effect, the 2018 Ducati. So we are going to struggle just a little bit. We're not going to be on the best bike, but hopefully we'll be fighting with the likes of Iannone. He's not been very good this season in real life. The KTMs might be a bit of a rival as well. As the KTM Tech 3 guys as well. So we're not going to be getting out of Q1 very often. We're really going to be, if you look at those teams, maybe beating the KTM Tech 3s, the Aprilias at a push, and the, where are they? The KTM factory guys at some weekends. But I wouldn't be hoping for too much. But it's very exciting now because we do have our first Grand Prix weekend at Qatar. So I think what we've got to do really is try and enjoy it and try and extract everything that we possibly can out of the weekend. So as usual, we'll be going from FP3. FP4 is just a session that it's effectively a warm-up for quali, so I'm not interested in taking part in that. So it'll just be FP3, quali, and the race as usual. But for the first time, we get to step on a MotoGP bike in a MotoGP weekend. Oh, I'm excited.
Hello everyone, everything is ready for the 3rd round of the MotoGP free practice. It's the last chance to record one of the 10 best times and reach the 2nd qualifying session directly.
Well, it's going to be a real struggle to record one of those top 10 times. I think we could well be at the back this weekend. But again, as I said, it's all about trying to perform to our best, seeing what we can do. We've got 2 fairly old hats at the game as our teammates, Carol Abraham and Tito Rabat. So whilst the objective is to beat the 2 of them, that's going to be a pretty tough opportunity. But we come into this the Moto2 champion, so no fool. And really all we can do is prove ourselves as the Rocket Man of MotoGP. So it's FP3 time. We'll set a few laps and see how we get on. And see what the lap leaderboard is going into that Q1 session. As you can see, we're just over 15 minutes to go. We are quite a way behind anybody. Jorge Lorenzo down there, which is a shocker. But, yeah, we're a second off anybody else. But I think everybody else has done their soft tyre runs. We haven't yet. So let's see what we can cut the gap down to. But even to be half a second off some of these guys would be a pretty good result, really, after our first practice session. Dovi leads practice then with FP3 with Valentino Rossi just behind him. In fact, 4 of the manufacturers in the top 4. Mightily impressive with Aprilia also in the top 9. But we're quite a way back, 6/10 off anybody else. But I'll take that, to be honest, for our first session. We're going to take part in Q1 now. And we are about 6/10, as you can see. Abraham and Rabat just up ahead. So we're going to have to pull pretty much a good gap. I mean, 6/10 is pretty tricky on these bikes. But we're going to give it our all and see how we get on in this Q1 session. After all, if we do qualify at the back, at least we can't go any further back in the race. But I'll give it our all to see where we can qualify at the end of Q1. Plenty of time to gain, definitely on our banker. I mean, that's a 57.8. So I know the temperatures might be a little bit different, but that's a second behind even our fastest time in FP3. So a lot of time to gain. We've got plenty of time to do it. We've got 3 more laps, but as you can see, 3 seconds behind the chap, whoever's in first in this Q1 session. But you've got the likes of Lorenzo in this session, so it's pretty big competition. But we're just going to find our feet. We've got plenty of time this season to do, so I don't think we're exactly going to be booted out of this team. Probably a better choice, actually, than the Honda team, because there's a lot less pressure here. We're not really expected to get many points, so we're just going to keep it, we're just going to keep trying to get a hang of this bike and see what we can do on this bike and try and impress the top teams for maybe a better ride in Season 2, but that's a long way ahead. We just need to focus on this qualifying session for now and getting the most out of the bike. This has the potential to be a much stronger lap. Only 1.2 seconds back in that third sector, so at most we're going to be about 2 seconds off here, which already is a second's improvement on that lap, which is pretty goddamn impressive, really. But let's have a look what it is. It was a 1:57 last time. 1:56 would be the presumed time, but it's a 1:56 just. 1:56.034. And that's only 1.2 seconds off whoever's quickest in this session. So with 3.5 minutes to go, we're actually in 5th place, which is a bloody good achievement for the moment. Coming up to line this time on our third attempt. As you can see, we're actually quickest in the first sector, but it has fell away a little bit the lap. We were 8 tenths behind Morbidelli in the third sector, and we've improved again by 2 tenths a second. 1 more lap to go. We're not going to get into Q2 by any stretch, but if we're 6th at the moment, I don't see us falling down to the bottom of the grid, and that means what's that? So it'd be 12. It'd be the end of the 6th row, which for our first race in MotoGP is pretty impressive.
Greetings to all our viewers from the peninsula of Qatar. The floodlights that light up the Losail circuit are on, and any moment now the MotoGP bikes will be revving their engines. We're looking forward to great weather for the race, but the rider's only worry might be the sand just off the racing line.
That's a good point. It's our first experience with MotoGP Grand Prix. A Moto Grand Prix doesn't really make much sense, but our first experience of a MotoGP race. I'm really excited. And it is the one, the only Doctor on pole. Look at him. Oh, getting all psyched up for yet another season. And it's Dovi who starts in second. Who shares the front row with them? I can tell you exactly now. It's not going to be us. Our race objective is to finish in the top 15, so it is to grab a point. And there we are in P16. We've done really well there. And a fantastic qualifying session in the end. And there we are. So that's kind of spoiled where we qualified, but it was Marquez who started third. We've got Rins, Petrucci and Viñales on the second row. Decent qualifying for all of those bikes. Where is the other Suzuki? Quite a way back is Johan Mir in 12th, but a good qualifying for Espargaro on the Aprilia in 9th place. So we're at the start of the 6th row in 16th place. A very good qualifying from us. Qualifying a lot of notable names, particularly Johan Zarco on the KTM, and crucially, our teammates Carol Abraham and Jorge Lorenzo. What a disastrous day it was for him, starting all the way back on the 7th row on that Honda. He's going to be wanting to come through, but ultimately, we just need to focus on ourselves. Nobody else, none of the big names behind us. Now we are in the Premier class with all those familiar names, so many champions, so many race winners. We've got our own pedigree. We won the Moto2 Championship. We finished second in the, or was it third? No, we finished third in the Moto3 Championship. We've got plenty of experience around this track. The only thing we haven't got experience on is these bikes. So let's take it cool. Let's keep it cool. And let's see how we get on in our first, we've waited for this for a long time to say this, the first Motor Grand Prix of the career mode.
The Qatar Motorcycle Grand Prix will
Right, so we start P16, 1 point more. Of course, we're into the points, but I'm not going to focus on that. All we want to do is finish this cleanly. And oh my god, this is going to be interesting off the start. We got wheel spin in Moto 2. In MotoGP, it's going to be even worse. And the lights are out for this new MotoGP season. We've been absolutely mugged at the start, and we've pretty much lost everything apart from our teammate Abraham, who's given us a little bit of a toe, I suppose you could say. But into the first corner, not braking too late, but Jorge Lorenzo making up ground, it seems. So does our teammate. We try and pick on the outside, the inside line, sorry. We usually make a pretty good start, actually, after that first corner. But dropping temporarily to the back of the grid, and the KTMs have had a nightmare of a start. But just trying to keep it in and within. Everyone being so aggressive. Francesco Bagnaia on that Pramac bike, not made the best start. And Morbidelli's fell back quite big as well, actually. Braking way too early for that corner. We've picked up a few bikes, and we're pretty much back to where we qualified. Jorge Lorenzo gaining ground as well, up to 15th place at the start. And the two guys up ahead of the two KTM Tech 3s of Javi Shireen and Oliveira on that other KTM bike. Looks like Lorenzo's getting pre-racy up ahead, and that looks like it could be Nakagami that he is racing up there in 18th. But a good move by Morbidelli up the inside. We did give him the room, to be fair, there. We can try and accelerate, but already a bit of a moment on the bike, so we're not going to be too aggressive there. I know it's still, even though we were pretty competitive in that Q1 session, still learning the bike, still learning the nooks and crannies, what our limits are, how to accelerate, and all that sort of thing, because we haven't really pushed the limits massively so far. There's definitely time to gain on the bike. We don't want to fall off in our first race, because that could become quite a nasty pattern if it continues. But what a start from Fabio Quartararo. We know from his MotoGP season that he's been absolutely fantastic in real life. But he qualified. Where did he qualify? I noticed he didn't qualify that far ahead of us, sort of about 12th or 13th. And he's already made a monstrous start, and up to 6th place he goes. But a pretty good start for us. I know we've lost 3 spaces, but out of turn 2 we were at the back of the grid, and we are beating here both of our teammates. So a very good start for us. And we now do come onto the start-finish straight. Let's have a look who is out in the lead of the race. Let's have a look who we've got. And Espargaro up in 6th. Jorge Mir, what a start for him on the Suzuki. Jesus Christ. I mean, he started, I think, on the 4th row. He must have had a fantastic start. But Rossi, where's Rossi? Rossi's had a terrible start. He might have even fell off the bike. I don't think he has. I don't think the notification came up. But he's an awfully way back. Considering he started on pole, that's a disaster for the doctor. Well, that was easier than I thought. Blimey, Shireen had an awful few corners there. Just couldn't get the momentum going. And we've picked up another place. So up to 18th we go. We are struggling. I am really struggling, I'd admit. Just on trying to get the bike accelerating. You'll notice we've got a bit more anti-wheelie on it than usual. We are well within our limits to use that within the bike's computer. I want to make it a little bit challenging for us. So I've only put it on 2 out of 4. But even out of those corners that don't require a lot of acceleration, we are starting to wheelie a bit, which of course loses a lot of straights. So a lot more throttle management needed on this bike, which makes it a little bit trickier. But Shireen now fallen back to 22nd place. He could have had a fall off the bike perhaps, but no, he's back up to 21st, so I don't quite think he has fell off. But Bagnaia, not a good start for him really, considering he's on. I think he's on the updated 2019 Ducati. Let me know, bike enthusiasts, down in the comments. I certainly know that on that other Pramac that Jack Miller's on the 19 equipment, but it might be the 18 equipment that Bagnaia's on, which might explain why he's so far back. It's turning into something that's almost like a test session really now. We have got quite a gap to the guys behind, which of course can go fairly quickly. But the guys ahead we are struggling to get up to now. So this is more of a test session, trying to learn the bike. And we are really, every time we're going round we're learning the bike more and more. And getting decent pace, decent consistent pace I'd say, more importantly than anything else. But still a bit of a mystery where Valentino Rossi is in this race, because he's not in that top 10. And I can't see him just in the distance. He might be just outside, but I haven't seen anything about him being overtook, about Rossi overtaking anybody himself. And if he's got pace for pole, then you've got to be questioning where on earth has he gone. And he's certainly not in this back group, I don't think. Anyway, it's got to be Espargaro, Bagnaia, our 2 teammates, and I presume Johan Zarco. So he's not going to be back in that group. He's not in the group ahead. So he's got to be either 12th or 11th. It's a mystery where Valentino Rossi's gone this Grand Prix. But as you can see, just visibly in this clip that I've showed you here, we've lost a bit of pace to those guys in front. So hopefully we don't get overtook by the guys behind. But 18th place, I'd certainly be happy with that here. A good start to our career. Valentino Rossi now back into the top 10, but Jack Miller's just got past him, so a disaster really, certainly considering where he qualified for the Doctor in this race. We've got 2 seconds in front to the guys ahead, so it looks like we're not going to be able to gain on them, especially with corners like that. Still learning the bike, as I say, still trying to take 1 or 2 different lines. But yeah, not a bad start to our career, and we'll see if we can pick off anything in the last few laps. Last lap time then, and I think that's our personal best record for the weekend actually, that 55.6. I know we've set 56s, it's certainly our best lap of the race by any stretch of the imagination, but as you can see we've gained a little bit to the guys ahead. They've also got their momentum, so we're not going to get up to them. Ian One as well, up to 16th, that's quite astonishing. I can't really remember where he started, but I think it was behind us. Obviously we had a dreadful start, we're going to have to work on those or else there's not really much point of qualifying at all. But yeah, we're actually closer to the guys ahead than the guys behind are to us. So that's an encouraging sign. We're not getting mugged by the guys in front. We've got a visible gap to that back group. So we're in no man's land a little bit here, but I can certainly take that in our first race. And whilst our race objective is the top 15 and the team's going to get a bit grumpy about that, well, I should have finished in the top 15. We beat both of our teammates, which I think in this first race, considering the stature of Karel Abraham and Tito Rabat, certainly in this sort of team, I think it's a really good result to start our career off with. And there will be opportunities in some races, whether that's through pace or whether it's through a few riders making mistakes and falling off. But we will be able to get points throughout the season. But the aim of this team isn't to really get massive points. It's a smaller team on the grid, and whatever it can get, well, it will get. And it's a lot more down to rider in this sort of series. So we'll see how we get on the Real Avintia bike. Of course, I'd love to be on the Honda, the Nakagami Honda, but it's not, and it's a bit more of a challenge this way, and I'd probably prefer that actually. That second sector visibly not great for us, because we've just reversed that difference that we had when I was talking about in the first sector. But we come around the penultimate corner, and it'll be now turn 16, that'll be last corner of our Grand Prix, and it's Johan Mir who unbelievably makes a winning start to the season for the Suzuki team. I'm quite astonished by that, and equally astonished by the poor race that Valley had, considering his start. But a good race, and it's P18. We've lost 2 positions on the grid, but given the start we had, that's a pretty impressive Grand Prix. So it's Johan Mir, Marquez and Dovi on the podium. That's a big surprise with Dovi. It's actually Alex Rins who gets the fastest lap of the race. Cal Crutchlow in 7th. Great race from Fabio to be in 6th. Good race from Aprilia as well to get up to 9th place. And Valentino Rossi just with the 5 points. He'd have wanted 25, so that's crushing. Actually, I apologise, we didn't beat Tito Rabat. He had a mega race with 12th place. Didn't see him there, so apologies about that. But Jorge Lorenzo picking up the 1 point. And as you can see, a pretty good race for us. To be fair, we were quicker than the guys ahead with that 1 lap. That showed how good that 1 lap was. So if we can deliver that sort of lap consistently, we'll do quite well. But the championship standings are as they are. And it's Team Suzuki, we're no surprise really, that lead the team's championship. And of course, they also lead the constructors as well. So a good Grand Prix, I don't really think we can moan at that, and that is where we are going to leave it for this first episode of the MotoGP season. We tend to just do the one at the start of the season. It equally balances out as well for the end of the season, so that's an important thing. But we'll be back on Thursday with the 2nd and 3rd races. We might even start doing 3 races an episode, just to get through the seasons a little bit quicker. But let me know what you think of that down in the comments. We either do 3 races an episode or 1 more a week. Episode. So we either have 8 races in 4 episodes or 9 races in 3 episodes. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments, and I hope you guys have enjoyed. I certainly have, and I'm thrilled to finally be in MotoGP, and I look forward to what we're going to do this season, and we'll see how we get on in Argentina and the US. But apart from that, thank you all for your company today, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye for now.